Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are back today live with our friend, Mary Jane Pullam. Excited to have her here, and we have a very special guest as well. For those of you joining us today, we just want to point out she's the founder of Myofascial Wellness by Jane. You can go to the website, which is myofascialwellnessbyjane.com for more information. And I'll have Mary Jane introduce herself and her special guest today.
Hi. I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you, Jill.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The volume seems down a little bit. I heard what you said, but
10987. I said hello. My levels look good here.
they
Please
do. Okay.
introduce yourself and your guest today.
Absolutely. So I am Jane Pullam, and my business is Wellness by Jane. And what I do is my passion. What I do is myofascial release, and my passion is getting people out of pain. So I've invited one of my clients on today. Her name is Gloria Smith. And what I thought I'd do today is go through the presentation. I have a PowerPoint presentation that describes, what is fascia, what is myofascial release, and why is it so important. Yeah. And then I thought Gloria would be willing, and she has come on so gracefully to share her story with us. So does that sound good, Gloria?
Perfect.
And okay. Gloria Smith, is that your name?
Yes, it is.
Great. Gloria, please tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and of course, how the two of you connected, and we'll get started on the work that she's been helping you with.
Okay. I am in Montgomery County in Pennsylvania. I hate to admit that I am 75 years old. I have had numerous upper body surgeries due to two major medical problems. I had breast cancer that was diagnosed in 2001 and had severe radiation damage that really came on me between like 2004 and 2007. I dealt with the ramifications from that damage. And then I had subsequent second reconstruction surgery as a result of the damage that was caused by the radiation. And all the time I was going through breast cancer issues, I had been dealing with cervical spine issues and was supposed to have cervical spine surgery, but then unfortunately I discovered the lump while I was in treatment for the spine surgery to prepare for it, and I had to deal with the breast cancer first. So long story short, since 2001 up until several months ago, when my daughter, who's a natural skincare person, suggested that I try myofascial release. And I found Jane in the internet, thank God. She's very close to me. I was very lucky that she's almost in my backyard. And I have experienced unbelievable change from being in constant pain and discomfort for years and years and years. And this is the first time I can honestly say that it's not in the back of my mind anymore what type of distress I was constantly feeling. It's gone.
Wow. Yesterday you were saying that you didn't even bother complaining anymore because it was such a high level of pain that you had every single day, and you wondered what it would be like just to have someone else's problems, someone else's physical problems that would be a relief.
Yeah, it was something that was just always in the back of my mind, but I thought it was something I was going to just have to deal with, and I had dealt with it for years and years. I am only sorry that I didn't jump on the myofascial release bandwagon long before.
And that's what everyone says. From what I've been learning, it's so true, but not everybody knows. And I'm so glad we have this awareness here that I get to speak with her, get to speak with you, and thank goodness your story. Unfortunately, I apologize for the pain that you're in, but the fact to know that this is helping and can help so many people. At all? Okay, continue. Go ahead. Sorry.
No.
I feel like this is a public service announcement because I know this goes out to people way beyond who would come to me. So I just want to throw in, if you're listening or watching or whatever, and you're not near Jenkintown, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia, go on to myofascialrelease.com, go up to the right and go to locate a therapist, and you will find therapists all over the world that do this. And it's so powerful. It's gentle, but powerful. But you also came in with some dizziness, and then tell her about how you weren't. It was like an open wound for 2 years with the reconstruction.
Yeah, the breast cancer radiation that I had on the left side, that was done in 2001, and I had 8 weeks of radiation, 5 days a week. And it started to begin to show problems with the thinning of the tissue over my implant on the left side. And the doctors were very concerned. So they sent me for hyperbaric oxygen treatment down to the University of Penn. And they tried everything that they could to mitigate the damage. But one day over a weekend, I left work Friday afternoon just in the most excruciating pain. And over the weekend, the left side of me just opened up. The tissue and the muscle that was covering the implant that they had put in had disintegrated. This was now 2004. And I had to go immediately to Fox Chase Cancer Center, and they cleaned up what was left of that area. Of course, the implant had to come out because there was nothing holding it in anymore. And I was down to the breastbones.
Can you imagine
For
that?
2 years, I had an open wound that was stuffed with acetic acid and gauze to hold back infection.
Wow.
And it was just a terrible time. It took them 2 years and an infectious disease doctor to finally get rid of to close the hole. But then I was left with nothing but scar tissue on top of bone, and the most ugly looking left side of my chest that you could imagine. And it felt like the scar tissue was just cemented to my breastbones, so that any movement of my wrist or shoulder, not my wrist, my shoulder or arm, was just excruciating because I had no mobility or very little mobility on that side.
Yeah.
So I finally went for a second reconstruction 3 years later, which the oncologist suggested, and they kind of got me back together, but they had to do a latissimus dorsi flap, which meant that they moved muscle from my back all the way around to the front of me, and then took a football shaped piece of skin off my back to cover the front of me. It was ridiculous, but they were wonderful. And what I was left with after that was constant discomfort and pain, which I just felt like I had to deal with. And I dealt with it for years up until a few months back. And it was absolutely only the first couple of visits that I could feel an immediate change.
And you used to say that when you got in the shower, it felt like you still had something on you that was binding you, because the fascia, when it shrinks down, it literally, that 2,000 pounds of pressure, that straitjacket effect that it does is real. So she get in the shower, she has nothing on. She feels like she's got like a really tight bra on, is what you said.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember thinking it must be like babies feel when you have an infant and you put them in a receiving blanket and you wrap them up real tight like a papoose. And oftentimes I would get in the shower, and I stopped wearing a bra because there was absolutely no movement in my chest area. So there was nothing I really had to support. But I would get in the shower and I'd have to look down to make sure I remembered to take my top off or whatever, because it always felt like something was binding me.
So tell her about how the dizziness left you. Or share if you feel like it.
Yeah, I just thought it was a matter of getting older, and I was feeling a bit imbalanced. and just uneasy. I had an uneasy feeling of the imminent, possibility of falling because of this unsteadiness that I had. And because I always go for regular checkups, the doctor thought that I had, orthostatic hypotension. But that's related to blood pressure issues. And I checked my blood pressure regularly, and that was not the case because my blood pressure was always, within range. Shortly after I started going to Jane, I also realized that the sense of imbalance was also gone. So I know that what the doctor thought it was, but I don't know what it was being caused from. But whatever it was being caused from, I also don't have that constant feeling of unsteadiness anymore.
So imagine this
Wow.
tightness right down here. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine it going up your neck. It goes into your brain. Fascia runs into your brain too. And when it's shutting down, it's pulling on everything, pulling on your inner ear. It's pulling on everything. I thought now,
Oh, Jane,
yeah.
tell them about a few weeks ago when you tried to grab when you were working on my head and tried to grab I mean, I can right now grab this
Good.
and I can pull the skin away.
Wow. Before I couldn't, so I was doing a
Work.
pull right here just to open up the cranium. And sometimes it pulls behind the eyes and it relieves people headaches. And I couldn't even grab a hold of it. And then the second time
Yeah,
we went
my
in, I was able
skin
to.
was all so tight. And now, I mean, I
Wow.
can lift it away from my forehead,
And you're pain
you know,
free. I mean, could you
where
share the experience, what it was like when she came in and how it was to work with her? I mean, this is an amazing testimony again to the work you do, and that could be helping so many people.
Jane.
Oh, I thought that,
Oh,
oh,
could you share what it was like when she came into your office and
oh,
what she was
me.
experiencing? Yeah, you're so
I'm waiting for
cute.
her to share it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What she kind of did. I
gosh,
want your take. Now, you as the professional working
yes.
on her.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, okay, gosh, we have a lot of things going on here, and I hope I can help her. And I know sometimes there's a healing crisis where you get a little worse before you get better. And so I have to prepare people for that. And so you're always crossing your fingers, not crossing your fingers. I know what to look for. I know what to do. I know to follow my intuition and let it guide me. And I am thinking she has a lot of things, not just the neck. So she actually, she mentioned she had surgery here, but she has is it called a
Oh, the
cage?
cage.
Cage. She has a cage in her neck, and I have a picture of it. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to the presentation today or not, but she has a picture of it, and she has two cadaver vertebrae. So this cage, you think, well, how much can I actually change in the neck? The pain she was feeling a lot of pain, and she was also bent over. And what started happening is, even though there's a cage there, we were able to open the fascia and allow her to stop being pulled forward by working here and then everywhere, really everywhere. And it took the pressure off of her. And then when she came in, I thought, I swear you're standing up straighter. And what did you say your daughter said?
Oh, my daughter, who was always very aware of um, the curvature of kind of my spine. I was thinking it had something to do with osteoporosis or whatever. Uh, but Tony Ann, my daughter, started noticing, probably a month into my treatment by Jane, that my back was straight. It was straight up and down now. I am in the process of looking for some old pictures, which I usually would delete because it looked so terrible and I was so embarrassed by it. But my posture has definitely changed. My neck was fused between C3 and C6, so there are four vertebrae involved there. And the higher up your cervical spine surgery is, the less range of motion you have. And the surgeon that operated on me, Dr. Alex Vaccaro, who was just amazing. He's the head of Rothman now. I was lucky enough to have him. He told me, that movement would be very constricted because of it being so high up in the cervical spine area. However, I've gotten a lot more movement than I was able to have before. So I don't know if that's just because of I imagine the fascia has been released there. So I'll never have full movement again, but I certainly have much more range than I used to.
So we didn't know how much, we would be able to affect that. But it's still a work in progress. And we've been working a lot, below the neck, which affects everything really. Because it's as if it's all connected. Think of the fascia as one big spider web that runs into and out of every single cell. Everything that's tight below will affect what's above, and vice versa. So tell her about how you haven't been able to touch your elbows to the
Oh my gosh. Because of all the radiation damage, and I had a lot of physical therapy over the years, because of all the surgeries that I've had. And one of the things they used to want me to do after I did physical therapy was stand against a wall and kind of stretch my elbows back to touch the wall with my back straight. And I was never able to, when I stood against the wall, my right shoulder and elbow would go back. Like if I don't know if I can get you to see this, but if my elbows were like straight back at a level, the same level on both sides. When I would go against the wall, my right elbow could touch, but my left elbow was always about 3 inches out from the wall. And I guess it was maybe 2 weeks ago when my daughter said to me again, "Boy, Mom, I'm noticing like such a difference in your posture." And I said, "Yeah,
Wow.
it is amazing." And then all of a sudden it dawned on me that I had not done the wall thing for years
Yeah.
because there was no need to do it. I mean, nothing ever happened. I thought, "Oh yeah, let me go do that." And here, both of my elbows can touch the wall now. And the only
Amazing.
thing I have to account for that is that whatever Jane has released has definitely made a difference in the movement, and between the movement and the posture. I can now touch both my elbows to the wall, which is like for me a really big deal.
Like a miracle in a way, because so a lot of this gets attributed to other things like the positional hypertension you were talking about. I know I'm not using the right word, that the doctor said you might have, the way that you felt, well, I'm getting older, this is just the way it is now. Maybe not, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of my other clients said, "Don't you owe your body
Yeah.
a chance to try this before you maybe try another more invasive
Or surgery or something. My goodness, for sure.
intervention?" Yeah, absolutely.
That's the word.
Well,
That's the word.
Yeah.
my best recommendation is that when people find out about this, do not wait. Do yourself a
Yeah.
favor and go have either Jane or someone else in your area, um, do this for you, because it is life changing. It really is. I mentally, I feel a whole lot better
Yeah.
because I don't feel that I look as bad as I did. I was really quite embarrassed.
Yeah.
And made sure that if I had to be in a photograph, that I would stand a certain way so that you wouldn't be able to see what life had done to me. But it doesn't have to stay that way. So if you're experiencing this kind of distress with being in constant pain or discomfort, do yourself a favor and don't wait. Just do it.
Wow.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you so much. How much time do we have left? I was thinking about showing the video.
We have, well, actually, you know what I'm going to do for you, if you don't mind me looking down 1 second, we have, I do have an 11, so we have 6 minutes left. Yep,
6 minutes left. Okay.
I think we could do it. What do you think?
Okay. I think we can try it. Yeah.
I think so. Let's do it, ladies.
All right. I'm going to share screen and I'm going to go to, well, let me go here first, actually.
Sure.
Share. So this is this is what is in Gloria's neck. These are her x-rays. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
So you see right here.
Point out if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. See, right in between here, this does not move. So the fact that we were able to give her relief in neck pain and relief down here and help her stand up, that had, can you imagine we still affected a change even with this
Wow.
here. So even if you've had surgery, you know, for people out there and think, well, there's nothing can be done, I've already had surgery in my neck, there is actually something that can be done. We can do the myofascial release. And now let me, I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to try and share something else. Let me go down here. This is not my forte.
Mm.
Here we go. Okay,
Well,
share.
thank God, because I'm glad yours is what it is.
Good one.
Oh my
Yeah.
I
goodness,
like it. All right, let me
little
see.
one.
I'm going to share sound, and we're going to make the sound stereo. Okay, and we're actually going to go to, we're going to go through these,
Okay.
if we can. And I'll do this full presentation at another time.
Great.
But we're going to watch this.
Sure.
So this demonstrates how fascia reacts with an incoming force.
Okay.
It's fascia that runs through every single cell of our body. This is called oobleck. It's cornstarch and water. And when you come at it with force, it shuts down. When you come at it gently, it yields. So it's a non-Newtonian. It's non-Newtonian physics. Doesn't react the way you think it would react. This is how our fascia reacts. So here we go.
When you mix cornstarch and water, weird things happen. Swish it gently in a bowl, and the mixture moves like a liquid. Squeeze it, and it starts to feel like paste. Roll it between your hands, and it solidifies into a rubbery ball, until you try to hold that ball in the palm of your hand, and it loses its structure and dribbles away.
Mhm.
To many who have played with this material, perhaps as children, its strange behavior is nothing new. But understanding exactly how, why, and when this material will act a certain way has always been rather unpredictable. But now, a team of MIT engineers have
MIT.
developed a mathematical model
Wow.
that can accurately predict this material's behavior under various conditions. A single particle of cornstarch is about 1 to 10 microns wide and about 100 times smaller than a grain of sand. It turns out that particles at such a small scale experience effects that larger particles do not. Because cornstarch particles are so small, they can be influenced by temperature and by electric charges that build up between them, which causes them to slightly repel against each other. So as long as you move slowly, the grains will repel and slide past each other like a fluid. But if you do anything too fast, you'll overcome that repulsion. The particles will touch, there will be friction, and it will act as a solid. The researchers incorporated equations into their model to describe the effects of particle repulsion and the speed at which the material is deformed, to predict whether it would behave as a solid or a liquid under various scenarios. The researchers say the new model could be used to explore how various ultrafine particle solutions, such as cornstarch and water, behave when put to use, as for instance, fillings for potholes or bulletproof vests.
So that is simply to demonstrate
Wow.
is what fascia does in your body.
That did it. The visual of that really takes. And I think that's important for everyone to watch. Where can others who are on the regular radio podcast now watch that? Can we go to your website? Do you have that somewhere? You can link it up for them to see?
I will have it on my website, and the next Thursday, I plan on doing that presentation first. I'll go through everything from beginning to end with that presentation. It's on YouTube. If you look up oobleck.
Perfect.
or cornstarch and water. You can see that demonstrated.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for joining us with your story. We appreciate you taking the time out here, but it's really important, the work that you're doing. And I'm so glad you're feeling better.
Oh my God, yeah.
Great.
Where can people view this podcast?
Well, the link will be sent to you, I guess. I don't know the turnaround time. I apologize.
Yep.
You get all the
Yeah, I'll
links.
send it to you.
And they're
when you
on
get it.
different platforms. I'm not sure where you're on, if you're on iHeart, if you're on Geezer, there's a whole bunch of places. So you'll
Oh,
take care of
great.
that and help her out.
I'm sure she
Good.
will. She's
And
helped everything
remind us
else
how we
out.
can reach out to
Absolutely
you
will.
for
I
all
never
these-
know if you're talking to me or her.
I know, it's confusing.
Sorry.
Tell us how we can reach you, please. The best forms of
Okay.
contact.
Google Wellness by Jane in Philadelphia, or go to my website, myofascialwellnessbyjane.com. For people out of the area, myofascialrelease.com. Go up to locate a therapist and find someone near you. Phone number 843-814-8642.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you again. Have a fantastic day
Gloria.
and best of luck, and continue to feel really good, Gloria. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
again, Miss Jane, for doing what you do. Bye-bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.